50, 45. There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow. Oh, my God. Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl in the most unbelievable fashion you will ever see.
On a Friday, welcome in everyone to a brand new edition of the Dream Wager, episode 405. Today is Friday, May 31st, 2024. And Elvis, the NBA Finals are set. We got the Boston Celtics and the Dallas Mavericks. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing great, though. I'm excited to be with you guys on this lovely Friday morning. It's feeling good up in the East Coast. It's about 60-something outside. Feels great, so go out there and enjoy yourself before it gets too hot coming June. Dill, to be honest, everything is great. The only thing that sucks is the fact that I got to wake up for the next 5 days and no basketball to watch. So,
Yeah,
thank
that's
God we
tough.
got the WNBA. I'm going to be tuning into that one, definitely for sure. We got some UFL action this weekend, but 5 days, well, 6 technically,
Yeah.
a week's worth no basketball. To me, that should be a shame. To me,
I
something's wrong.
mean, we wanted to get for the Timberwolves to kind of extend this series so we wouldn't have that much of a break. And thankfully, they were able to win one game because we would have been asked out for, I don't know, 8 days, over a week. So, yeah, it fucking sucks. And there's not every other game. There's like 2 days in between the schedules for the finals. You know how they drag it out for other
They
TV.
deserve to get rest in between games as well. But for the Boston Celtics, it's a 9-day stretch, and then for Luka and company, who's dealing with injuries or whatnot, it's good that Dallas get this rest, but they don't need 6 days still.
That's what I'm saying.
3 to 4 days, solid. After 5-6 days, you could be like, you know what, we could have went to Bolivia or something for a couple of days,
But yeah, we got a great episode for you guys. Like Elvis said, Mavs take care of the T-Wolves in 5 games. Luka wins the MVP. We will start there. Western Conference MVP. 124 to 103. I mean, it wasn't even close from the jump. Luka set the tone. Him and Kyrie both dropped 36. I mean, if they're giving you over 60 points each, I think that regardless of who they're playing, it's going to be a tough out. Luka outscored the Timberwolves by himself in the first quarter, 20-19. From the get, he was aggressive. This is what they needed from Luka. 36, 10, and 5. He was magnificent. Is this a top 5 backcourt already, kid? I mean, damn.
We've been hearing all over the media, Dill, that a lot of debates been going out there, or questions about if this is the greatest scoring backcourt of all time. Nobody's really arguing or debating if this is the greatest backcourt of all time, but we gotta at least acknowledge this. I'm not saying they are, but you can't deny it. What Luka and Kyrie's been doing this postseason run. The fact that he was able to get 72 points combined in a closeout game on the road, to me, that's pretty damn impressive. Find me in NBA history where the backcourt got you 72 points in a closeout game. This might be a first. So I'm not going to debate. I'm not going to go into an argument with people. I'm just going to appreciate greatness. And what Luka Doncic was able to perform last night in the first quarter alone was just flat out spectacular. We saw him hit that logo 3. Then he follow it up with a heat check, another 3. Still, the game was over right then in the first quarter.
Yeah.
It was 30 to 18. Luka had 20 in the first quarter. And then my thing is, when Luka goes to the bench end of the first quarter, right? This is 30 to 18. Kyrie had, I think, 2 or 4 points in the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
He had 32 from that moment on.
Yeah.
Kyrie, I think, had 14 points in the second quarter. This game got out of hand quick. The fact that you could just lean on Luka Doncic and then him goes off the bench and then you have another monster and Kyrie Irving who could just extend it. To me, that was special. Give credit for the Timberwolves, not on this game. That was just a bad. They didn't come out with the energy. They came out flat. even the first play of the second half, Del Lucas started the second half with an alley oop. That told me everything I needed to know. But I think you gotta give credits for the Timberwolves for the successful season they had. You know what they finished, I think 50, 52, 53 wins, third seed.
56 and 26.
Wow, third seed, right behind Denver, right behind OKC, getting to the Western Conference Finals. At the end of the day, this is a young team. I understand Rudy Gobert been there and done that, but Anthony Edwards, he's what, 22, 23 years old. Cat, still very young. Daniels, very young. Uh, the role guys, Kyle Anderson, he's a veteran, but he's got Nas Reed, he's pretty young. Nikhil Alexander, he's young. The only real vet that's on the end of his career is Mike Conley, who I think can still give you something this upcoming season in 2025. So if I'm Minnesota, I understand it's a painful loss at home, but you got to walk out with your head held high and see, damn, we were close, you know. So hats off
Not
to
this
Minnesota.
game.
Not this game, but hats off to Minnesota on a stellar season. Anthony Edwards had himself a great game. Carnty Towns, I like the fact that he was aggressive, especially in the first half, getting to the lane, getting to the cup, drawing those fouls as well. But those two couldn't keep up with what we saw from Kyrie and Luka Doncic. So give the Mavericks their credit and their flowers to make it to the NBA Finals. And I expected a bounce back from Kyrie and Luka Doncic though.
Not this.
But not 72 points,
Yeah.
not 36 apiece.
Yeah, we knew they were going to come back strong. And they actually had a pretty good game, I thought, in game 4. I think they took the foot off the gas just a little. And I just think, yeah, I get what you're saying. Give them credit, Minnesota, for the season that they had. But this was an embarrassing performance. At home, you just didn't even fight. You packed it in early. And all playoffs at home, they really weren't good, in my opinion. The first round they were good.
They're 3-5 at home this postseason run.
You're not going to win a championship like that. So very tough break. They didn't shoot well from the 3 as well. 10 for 32. They were just chucking them at one point. Karl Anthony Towns continued. I know he had 28 points, but 1 for 6 from the 3. Edwards, he did anything he could, but after that, they really didn't get anything. Rudy Gobert, he got out rebounded as well. Only 5 rebounds. Rudy Gobert, 9 points. He was minus 23 from the field.
Real quick though, in the first quarter, when Rudy Gobert got up 7 shots in the first 5-6 minutes of the game, I knew right then and there Timber was in problem. When Rudy Gobert, when your offense is going off Rudy Gobert, that's an issue. When you have Karl Anthony Edwards on the floor and Cat, and then getting less shot attempts than Rudy Gobert, that's a problem. That's not a recipe to win a game if Rudy Gobert is going to be a leading shot taker.
No, not at all. But credit Mavs going to the finals. Jason Kidd, what a hell of a job he's doing coaching as well. Yeah, and they are coming in as underdogs here for this series. Right now, it is minus 225 for the Celtics, plus 185 for the series winner for the Dallas Mavericks. I think they're live, kid. We'll discuss it in a little, but just what do you got to say about Jason Kidd and the job he's done, in this short time? And, this is their only second year together with Luka and Kyrie. And for them already to get to the finals, I think it speaks volumes on the maturity on the players and also how they've responded to Jason Kidd as well.
Yeah, I think we got to give them even a little more credit just because this is their first year together. Remember, Kyrie got traded there during the trade deadline. They needed more time to mesh. We saw it. I wasn't a fan of it. I think you even came along.
Yeah.
It was a disaster. This team was I think the 5th or 6th seed when they acquired Kyrie Irving, and they flat out didn't even make the play-in tournament last year. So you dropped 6 seeds from the trade deadline. To me, that was a disaster. So the fact that Jason Kidd was able to turn that around and get this team to the NBA Finals just in the following season is special. Let's not forget, people, the Mavs was just in the Western Conference Finals 2 seasons ago with Jalen Brunson. Jason Kidd, he's a top-notch head coach. Let's not forget as well, Jason Kidd was a head assistant for that 2020 Lakers championship run as well. So I think Jason Kidd is one of the best head coaches in the NBA. He showed it during this playoff run, been dominating on the road, getting Mavs to the finals for the first time since 2011, since he was on the Dallas Mavericks, won a championship with them, by the way. So I think we just got to give Kid his credit. I understand when he got that big extension during the season, a lot of people was like, "Oh, does he really deserve that?" Shit looks like a steal now, if you ask me. So I think we just got to give Kid his flowers on not just being a great head coach, but also being a great players coach still, because he doesn't come in between. And I heard this during the game that he doesn't coach from a coach's point of view. He coaches from a player's point of view. He tells his player, "This is what I would do." And let's not forget, Jason Kidd.
Hall
I
of
understand
Famer
he's
now.
he's not mentioned as an all-time great, but he's one of the greatest point guards to ever play the game, Dale.
Ever.
Let's not
Yeah.
forget this. This man, I think he's top 10 all time in triple doubles. He's been to multiple finals. What, two with the Nets, one with the
Mhm.
Mavs. Like my boy Jason Kidd like that. So, and as a
And
Nets
and
fan,
I-
I
and I
know.
also and also I think Kyrie growing up here in the tri-state area, he watched and grew up on Jason Kidd. So I think he respected him. And when Jason Kidd got inducted to the Hall of Fame, Kyrie was front and center. Jason Kidd was like, "Holy shit, I didn't know he was even coming." He was just like, "Bro, like this is a legend. Like we got to respect him. Like yeah, he might not be an all-time great, but for what he did, he way he impacted in his IQ on the floor was tremendous." So yeah, I think he's the right man for the job, Kid, and I think he's a perfect fit. So, and I think the players love Jason Kidd on Dallas. So they got themselves a guy. And can Ben Lively stop getting hit in the head?
I'm not gonna say he's gonna stop getting hit in the head, though. But all I'm saying is, I don't know what it is. The knee with Cat, that was just a
Yeah,
bizarre accident. With Nas Reed, I'm not gonna say it
he
was
smacked
intentional.
him.
I'm not gonna say it was intentional. But all I'm saying is, if he doesn't swipe down, he doesn't get hit. If he
Yeah,
doesn't try to force a foul, he doesn't get hit. So my opinion on that is Nas Reed, just let him get the easy two. I
yeah.
understand it's not the ideal play. You want to, make hard contact, but if you have no other choice but to hit a dude in the head, just just let him get the two, bro. That's all.
Speaking of Jason Kidd and how good of a coach he is, your guy Ty Lue, he's agreed to a new long-term contract with the Los Angeles Clippers. It'll make him one of the league's highest-paid coaches. The deal is
Ooh.
not yet
I'm pretty
discussed,
sure
but
it's a 5-year, $70 million deal. That's
so
unofficial numbers. People don't,
yeah,
but I'm pretty sure it's around 5 years, 70
your
mil.
your boy got paid, and Steve Ballmer, the Clippers owner, president of operations, Lawrence Frank, shout out Jersey, another Jersey guy. They were
Former
eager
coach.
to keep him on a deal because he was linked to other teams. The people were trying to poach him. He is one of the NBA's elite coaches. I have to admit it, he is. So I'm glad the Clippers were able to lock in their guy.
Yeah, Dale, it is great for the Clippers just because we heard talks. Not saying it was going to happen, but we heard talks that it was a possibility. Ty Lue was one of the candidates for the Lakers head coaching job, which is still not filled. So that was a possibility out there. So from the Clippers' perspective, they're not about to let Ty Lue, who's one of the best coaches, walk out on them, and especially walk to the same team in the same building. So it's one thing to lose Ty Lue, but it's one thing to lose Ty Lue to your neighbor in the Los Angeles Lakers. So great deal that was able to get done for Ty Lue. He deserves it. I understand the Clippers haven't been what I want to say contenders, but it's just been disappointing these past
Yeah.
few years. That's all I'm gonna say. Due to injuries, if they were healthy, who knows what could have happened a couple years ago? Who knows what could have happened this season? But
You're not
if
blaming it on Ty Lue, though, right?
you're not blaming it on Ty Lue, if
Okay.
give Ty Lue a healthy starting five, and let's see him work, and I think he'll have a great run. But till
Yeah.
then, I just feel like Ty Lue got what he deserves, and rightfully so. So shout out the Clippers for taking care of their head coach.
Dave Fizdale is returning to the Phoenix Suns as an assistant coach
Good.
under Mike Budenholzer's staff over there in Phoenix. Fizdale, he was on Frank Vogel's staff, and now Budenholzer, he was a two-time NBA head coach of the year. So Mike Budenholzer, he's trying to create this really good staff in Phoenix. Do you like the move bringing in Budenholzer?
You mean
Not Budenholzer,
Fizdale?
Fizdale.
Yeah, absolutely. Just because Fizdale, he's a solid head coach. I understand. The run with the Knicks wasn't deemed a success, but it was a hard job. I think Fizdale was even a candidate for the Lakers position, Dale. For nothing. I think I heard some whispers on that. I think Fizdale is a great basketball mind, and I think has the pedigree and caliber to be a head coach. And a lot of teams in this league. It just sucks that he hasn't gotten a second chance. So shout out Boonhoser for adding him to that staff, which as of right now, I can honestly say the Phoenix Suns are improving as we speak by just,
Yeah.
adding to that bench, even though it's not depth, it's
Mhm.
mine.
Yeah, no, I agree. And Miami Heat assistant coach Caron Butler, he's agreed to a 4-year deal to remain on Eric Spoelstra's staff.
Ooh.
He's a 16-time vet. He spent the last 4 years as an assistant, so the Heat are keeping him. Apparently, they like the guy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Caron Butler did finish his career in Miami as well. So they probably like him. He probably brings
Mhm.
great energy. And at the end of the day, he's a vet. If you played in the NBA, I'm pretty sure the life league length is about 4 to 5 years. The fact that Caron Butler is able to play 16 years, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
He's been there and done that. And not just the knowledge he knows, that also the knowledge he absorbed throughout those 18 years and 16 years in the NBA and whatever years in collegiate and high school level as well. So he has over 20 years of knowledge of knowing this game. So why not keep him on your staff?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Eric Spoelstra wouldn't keep you and agree to a 4-year contract with Pat Riley if he didn't think he had something to. Yeah,
Pat Riley wouldn't give you a 4-year deal.
Yeah.
He didn't think you know what he was talking about.
Exactly. So that's a successful organization. I am not going to question who they're resigning and who they're not. Some more news in the NFL. We'll transition to free agent Jawan Jennings. He signed a 2-year deal with the 49ers up to $15.4 million, including $10.5 million guaranteed. You know, they like that. They like him over there in the 49ers. I know him and Deebo Samuel are very close. Does this worry you that they might not get a deal done with Brandon Ayuk, or do you think they're just taking care of one of their guys? It's worrisome, to be honest.
I want to say it's worrisome. You got a solid guy in Jennings on a great deal, and that it needed to get done. With Brandon Ayuk, you gotta at least play a little hardball, because Brandon Ayuk, he wants X. Y'all trying to get. I'm pretty sure it's been an offer out there. I'm pretty sure the 49ers are not.
Yeah, they probably said it, but I think it was a little too low for him.
Exactly. So they're just trying to find a middle ground. So maybe this is just a message saying, hey, we're willing to work out deals. We see us. We just gave Jennings his contract. It's just you got to work with us a little bit. So I'm pretty sure the deal will get done eventually. Would it get done June? I don't think so. Would it get done July? I give it a solid chance. Would it get done in August? Absolutely, though. Brandon Ayuk will be in the 49ers uniform come August and will be ready for week 1.
By the way, crazy story, but did you hear about the defensive lineman Isaiah Buggs? He got 2 misdemeanor warrants he's a Kansas City defensive lineman in Alabama for cruelty of dogs in the 2nd degree. You and I both have dogs. What a scumbag this guy is. I mean, all the reports I've read left the dogs without food and water. It was no Michael. No, bro, he was, I don't know. He was around town, but he just was like, no, I don't know. I can't answer for the guy, but it wasn't like Michael Vick, like dog fighting. It was just cruelty, like
starvation.
Yeah, starvation.
Neglection.
Exactly. So 2 misdemeanor. Yeah, what a dick, right?
Oh, I'll smack the shit out of him. I don't care if you're offensive line, you bench 350. I'll smack the shit out you. Feed your dogs, give your dogs some water, man. If you're gonna own a pet and at least take care for them, man. If you have kids out there, you're not about to let your kids starve to death or be dehydrated. So don't do it to your dogs, man. At the end of the day, though, it seems like every few weeks we get some type of non-positive news from the Kansas City organization.
I'm telling you,
Andy Reid got to be like, bro, what's going on with you guys, bro? Like, y'all can't. You know what? We just won the
championship.
If I'm the Kansas City Chiefs, I'm like, we're not winning a Super Bowl because I don't know what gets into y'all. Y'all are just bugging. You got Rice. You got the other dude. Now you got you basically got a child neglect charge.
Yeah, 2nd degree in Alabama, and that's down south. If they're charging you down south,
you lucky you wasn't in a liberal state. That would have been a felony.
You would have got hit beside
the
head.
Got smoked.
Yeah, so I don't know. The guy's a piece of shit. I can't not root for Isaiah Buggs just because.
And Isaiah Buggs, if you got something to say and you feel some type of way,
Our
Holla at
ads are
me. I
right
meet you.
there. Yeah.
I meet you at MetLife, dog. You been there? I've been there.
So yeah, awful fucking guy. I wanted to bring that out. But speaking of contracts earlier, you were talking about Juwan Jennings. Jalen Waddle and the Miami Dolphins, they reached an agreement on a 3-year, $84.75 million extension, 76 of it guaranteed. They lock up their number 2 receiver, kid.
Great deal for the Miami Dolphins. We saw Jalen Waddle take that next step. Even last season with Tyreek Hill, he had a stellar rookie season, and we saw him elevate his play with Tyreek Hill join the team. So to me, it's a great deal. Wish it would have been a little longer for Miami's sake and his sake, just because I think him and Tua have a solid connection. Deal, to be honest, they have Alabama ties in them as well. I think it's a great signing, and I think it's a sign for the Cincinnati Bengals as well. Like, hey, this is the market. We saw Michael Pittman Jr. get very similar deal. Now Jalen Waddle, hey, maybe this should be an opening sign for the Bengals. This is the now going rate for a wide receiver. It's going to be anywhere from $25 to $32 million. Jalen Waddle got about $28 million a season. Is he deserve the money, Dill? Absolutely. Is he going to be worth the money throughout these 3 years of the contract? If Tua is the quarterback and Mike McDaniels is the head coach, absolutely. So I love the signing for Miami Dolphins and Jalen Waddle. Great signing.
Yeah, great signing. He's only 25 years old. He's going to get another contract. It keeps him in Miami through 2028. He recorded his 3rd consecutive 1,000 receiving yards last year. He became the first player in franchise history to do so as well. He also holds the Dolphins record for the most receiving yards in the first 3 years of his careers. He set the Dolphins record. He set the rookie record, for receptions with 104 and 1,015 receiving yards. So during his time in Miami, he started 47 games. He's caught 251 passes for 3,385 yards and 18 touchdowns. So the numbers speak for themselves. He's a 1,000-yard receiver every year in the league. And this is not even him being the number 1. This is him being the number 2. So he's definitely worth the contract. And obviously we talk, I feel like this is a recurring thing, but the other wide receivers eligible for a deal, we got Justin Jefferson at the top of the list. I actually would put CD ahead of Jamar Chase, but you got CD or Jamar Chase. Then you got Brandon Ayuk we just talked about, and then T. Higgins, kid. So, I mean, what do you see? Who gets done first? Because the list is starting to diminish every week.
I think we'll see CD Lamb get done just because we saw what Dak Prescott, I'm not going to say become, but we saw how great he was. He was an MVP quarterback for about 6 weeks last season with CD Lamb during that run. Remember that run when Dak was averaging like 300 plus yards a game?
Yeah.
CD was averaging 100 yards a game. He had a streak of 5 or 6 consecutive games, 100 plus yards with a touchdown. So if the Dallas has any ambition of being at least, fighting for the division, being contenders, having a shot in the NFC, I don't see them able to accomplish anything without CD Lamb, Dill. He was their sole offensive player last year. Think about it. They had a poor running game last year with Tony Pollard. I'm going to say 65% of America can't name me the starting running back for the Dallas Cowboys right now. I'm going to say maybe 75% can name me the starting running back for the Cowboys right now. Brandon Cooks, he's solid. He's not going to improve.
Yeah.
So I just feel like the Dallas Cowboys, out of those players and those teams that need to sign, they are a must sign for CD Lamb, because without CD Lamb, you could throw your playoff hopes out the window.
Yeah, and I think actually like the last person to maybe get a deal is maybe like Jamar Chase. I think they're not really pressured all that much. I think he's sitting back and waiting and saying, let's see what CD Lamb, let's see what Justin Jefferson gets, and I'll go a tick below him, just a tick. Because
I say Justin Jefferson might be the last one, just because I feel like he's gonna be the record breaker. I think Justin Jefferson might become the first wide receiver to exceed $40 million or gets to $40 million a season. I honestly think that. I think he'll get a 4-year deal, maybe 150, 160. I doubt, but if anybody that deserves it, it's gonna be Justin Jefferson. So
Yeah.
I highly doubt he gets that number, but it's a small chance he does, especially if for example, if CD gets 33, Jamar gets 34, Jefferson gonna get at least 35,
Easy.
40.
He's starting there.
He's starting at
Yeah.
35, and he might get a fully guaranteed contract.
Yeah, that's insane. So I can't wait to see. I think we could all agree those three are going to remain with their respective
But
teams. Justin Jefferson,
the
Vikings.
Bengals should definitely make a move sooner than later, just because
Mhm.
you don't want to have the two wide receivers left on the market. For example, let's just say come Monday, CD and Brandon Ayuk are signing with their respective team and Justin Jefferson. Guess what? There's going to be a lot of teams calling to see what's
Yeah.
going on in Cincinnati.
I mean, out of the 5 teams or 5 players that I mentioned, I think the 2 question marks, and I don't know if there will remain on the team because I think Justin Jefferson will remain in Minnesota, CD in Dallas, Jamar Chase in Cincinnati. Brandon Ayuk, I thought he would get the deal done. I'm not so sure as the days go on and summer starts to hit, maybe they're just playing it close to the vest, but I don't know if he'll stay in San Francisco. And it looks like every day they're getting further and further away with T. Higgins. So out of those two, who do you see most likely staying? T. Higgins in Cincinnati or Brandon Ayuk in the Bay Area?
Brandon Ayuk, just because he's been, for one, I think he's more valuable for the 49ers than T. Higgins is for Cincinnati. I'm not saying Brandon Ayuk is a more valuable player. All I'm saying is I think the 49ers value Brandon Ayuk just a little more than T. Higgins. T. Higgins, at the end you got Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase, you can debate. I'm not gonna debate. He's the best wide receiver in football. T. Higgins, he's a solid number 2 option who could possibly be a number 1 options on a lot of teams. But there's not a lot of teams out there that's gonna make him a top 5 paid wide receiver, top 10 paid wide receiver. So I feel like with Brandon Ayuk, we saw with the playoff run he had, especially this season. We saw him the year prior when Deebo Samuel went down with an injury. He was big as well. So I just feel like with the 49ers, they know what they're going to get and what they're going to keep getting from Brandon Ayuk. And I just feel like Cincinnati's just taking T. Higgins for granted just a little bit just because they have the luxury of having Jamar Chase there as well. So I don't know. To me, if I was Cincinnati, I would have been got this deal done. If I was the 49ers, I would have been got this deal done as well. Just because for Brock Purdy's sake, it's going to be beneficial for him to have all those weapons there. Christian McCaffrey, Debo, George Kittle. And I think with Joe Burrow, it would be beneficial to have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. So guess what? If you only have one of the two, one of them is most likely going to get doubled night in and night out. So I just feel like Brandon Ayuk stays, and then for some reason, Cincinnati dealt T. Higgins.
I think they overshot their hand. I think they thought they were able to get a deal done, and as the days go by, I feel like they're getting further and further away, and I feel like they're going to lose out on T. Higgins, which is a shame, not just to the organization, but also to Joe Burrow, like you said, and that's going to double up Jamar Chase a lot in these games. So we'll see what happens. But other stories in the NFL, Hard Knocks was announced. So there's going to be 3 different editions of Hard Knocks this year, which is pretty cool. I was in the off-season edition. There's 3 editions. The off-season edition, which is the free agency and the draft. They're following around the New York Giants. And the regular training camp version was announced yesterday that they're going to be following around Chicago Bears and the newly staffed Bears team. And then they have an in-season version. For the first time, they're going to follow all 4 teams in a division. Now, the division wasn't released yet, so we'll find out, I guess, in the coming summers. But you like this layout, kind of a different version of Hard Knocks.
Yeah, just because I feel like more eyes will be seen, but it all depends how it comes out. Like training camp, always exciting. During the season, we saw the Colts do it last season. I didn't really get to tune in. Pretty sure that was probably exciting. Now the 4 teams in season. That sounds good. It sounds good, though.
Yeah.
From a fan perspective, but is it gonna be like one episode per team, or is going to be one episode with like a few minutes of each team?
Yeah, I
That's
think
my
that's how they would do it.
that's just I got to see the layout. So I just want to see how they do it, because if it's just going to be one episode for each team, and it's just gonna be a rush episode of breaking down what they did for that week or two, kind of whack. But if
Yeah.
it's gonna be let's just say 4 weeks of each team getting some recognition each episode, that would be kind of dope. So to me, it all depends which division, because nobody wants to see. For example, nobody wants to see the NFC South. I don't. I don't want.
Yeah.
I don't want to see. I understand Kirk Cousins. You got the young quarterbacks and whatnot, but I want to see an exciting division. So it all depends on which division it is. Say, for example, if they don't pick them till like during the season and they pick just the best division in football, that would be pretty damn exciting. Let's just say you pick the AFC North. The Ravens are going to be good. The Steelers are going to be good. They're exciting. Cincinnati going to be solid. Cleveland's going to be solid. If you're telling me that's going to be the four come week 8 to 12, wow,
Yeah.
that's going to be pretty dope. But if you're telling me it's going to be, the Panthers, the Saints, the
We're not
Bucks,
trying to see that.
no disrespect, but I want to see what's really going on a contender.
Yeah, no, I agree. First episode of Hard Knocks with the Bears, scheduled to air Tuesday night, August 6th on Max. The Bears are the first team to be selected for Hard Knocks with the number 1 overall pick rookie quarterback since the Browns in 2018 with Baker Mayfield. So obviously they got a lot of new additions in Chicago. Caleb Williams, number 1 overall pick. You got Keenan Allen, Roman Odunze, DeAndre Swift, safety Kevin Bernard. You got a new offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron, as well. So a lot of new faces. I think it will be very interesting to see how this Hard Knocks with the training camp goes for the Chicago Bears. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the news. Anything else over the week that you saw that I missed out on?
Nah, that's about it, Dale. To be honest, that's about.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's take a
My
look.
boy,
Yeah.
the dude from golf, he got his charges dropped. So
Oh, shout
that's
out
right.
Scotty Scheffler. Yeah, I saw the video. TMZ released that video, and he knew what was gonna
Condolences
happen.
to the family that with
Yeah,
the incident that happened. Tragic, but shout out him for getting his charges dropped.
100%. Elvis, let's actually look at the finals, a little preview. I mean, there are odds out here for game 1, but we'll save that for a different day. But for right now, let's just look at the series. Like I said, minus 225 for the Celtics, plus 185 for the Mavericks. Series total games to go 4 games, plus 450. For 5 games, plus 255 to go 6 games, plus 230 to go 7 games is the favorite, actually, at plus 220. I guess, how are we looking at it? I guess Celtics deserve to be the favorite, but I mean, after we just talked about in the beginning of the show, and if they're giving you 70 points a night, I mean, I think the Mavericks are live here, kid.
I also think the Mavericks are live, though. I have a few things to say. I'm gonna give a few bets out, though. Not just series finals plays. I like the Dallas Mavericks plus 1.5 in the series spread.
Yeah.
I do think the Mavericks, one, definitely gonna be the healthiest team the Celtics has played all full season run. Two, is definitely the best team the Celtics have played all postseason run. And three, Luka and Kyrie are just flat out special. I just feel like they're gonna make this series very interesting. To me, the fact that the Celtics are minus 220 favorite in the series,
It
I,
makes sense, though.
I
It makes
understand.
sense.
Only lost 4 home games all season, lost only 2 playoff games all playoff. I understand it, but still, what the Dallas Mavericks was able to do, you know, round 1, round 2 against the OKC Thunder, we saw them do it against the number 1 defense against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Think about it.
They were the most battle-tested team.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
my point. Give me the Dallas Mavericks plus 1.5 at minus 114, and a funny one that I like. Give me 1 or more games to reach overtime at plus 190. I think this series definitely has one overtime game. Think about it, people. If the Boston Celtics they did sweep them.
Yeah.
They did sweep the Pacers, but it wasn't in convenient, convincing fashion. Dale, we saw the Dallas Mavericks blow out the Timberwolves. We saw the Timberwolves blow out the Denver Nuggets. We never saw the Celtics blow out Tyrese Halliburton less Pacers team. The Pacers was in it every game. And one thing I could honestly say, for some weird reason, Luka and Kyrie perform better on the road. They're a better road team than they are at home. And one thing with the Celtics, I'm not gonna say struggle with, but we saw them lose 2 games at home to a hurt Heat team and a hurt Cavaliers team. So I think they're
Yeah.
vulnerable to lose games at home. Let's not forget, people, through I think the last 3 to 4 seasons, the Boston Celtics are just 1 game over 500 at home due to the 2 games they just won against the Pacers. You gotta remember that, people. So I think the Mavs are a little more battle tested this year, and we can't deny what Luka and Kyrie have been doing thus far and how they elevate they play on the road as well.
What about the over under? Because you got them +1.5, and I agree. I think that's a very good bet at -114. Over under series is at 5.5 games. You think it goes 6 games? Because I do.
I
And
think I,
yeah,
I think it goes 6. I think Dallas goes. I think Dallas steals one in Boston. So I'm gonna just say how I think the series will play out. I think Boston wins games one in a nail biter. I think um Mavs take care of business game 2. I think Mavs win game 3. I think Boston wins game 4. Mavs win game 5. Mavs win game 6. The 2024
wow,
NBA champions will be the Dallas Mavericks. That's just my opinion. That's what I
yeah,
think, people. I just feel like the Mavericks defensively, they're solid.
yeah,
Offensively, they might be the best offense right now. Right
yeah.
now. Right now. They're playing like it. Derek Lively, he didn't miss a
He's
field.
the X factor.
I'm not saying he's gonna average 30 people. All I'm saying is if he goes 4 for 4 every night, giving you 8 to 10 rebounds, that's impactful basketball. That's winning basketball, people. If he continues the way he's going and he's being, a proud defensively, to be honest, I don't see Porzingis or Hal Horford. I'm gonna just say outplaying Lively and Gafford night in and night out. They might be able to outplay him once or twice, but in a 7 game series, I'm gonna pick Lively and Gafford to outdo Porzingis and Al Horford in this series. So I think in the paint, Dallas Mavericks has the advantage in the paint. Lively and Gafford, they're workhorses down there. I'm not saying they're more talented. They're just gonna outwork Porzingis and Al Horford.
Yeah, and there's a prop here on the sports book. Which player will have the most total rebounds in this series? Love how Jason Tatum's the favorite at -110 because he actually is.
Yeah.
He cleans up the glass really well. But my one guy I like at 11-1 is Derek Lively. He's third. The reason I say that is just because look what he does in the limited time he has, 8 to 10 rebounds a night. My one worry is the playing time. If he gets in a lot and they're good with him on the court, I think there's a shot for him to have the most rebounds in the series. So I'm gonna take a shot there as well. And overall, I just think the reason Dallas is live is I just think that they're the most aggressive team I've seen in the playoffs. Like they go downhill and they're killers. Kyrie and Luka are killers. In Boston, yes, they have talented players. Jaylen Brown is good. Jason Tatum is elite, but they have stretches where they play a lot of ISO ball. The ball doesn't move around. The ball is always moving in Dallas, and they go stretches without. They'll go up 20 points and then they'll let a team come back. The Mavs won't do that. The Mavs will step on your throat and they won't let go. I think that's the difference as well. I think they're the more seasoned team. They might not on paper be the best team, but they're playing the best basketball right now. And I think that's all that matters. So
Yeah,
I
we could
agree.
just go back to that Pacers series there when each game came down to the last 5 minutes of the game. You're not about to convince me, not just you, anybody's gonna come up here and convince me that the Mavericks could have won that series. If Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic is on the Pacers win that series. Pacers could have easily been up 3-1. Game 1 should have won that game. They lost it. Game 2, I'm give Celtics credit. Games 3 and 4, they're alive. Much closer games than I anticipated, Dill. If Kyrie Irving was on the Pacers games 3 and 4, Pacers win those games. If Luka Doncic single-handedly was on that Pacers team games 3 and 4, they win those games. So I just feel it's gonna be tough if the Boston Celtics, they didn't struggle. I'm gonna make it clear. They closed these games out. They didn't struggle closing these games out, but they struggled not dominate against these hurt teams. That concerns me. The fact that the best team in the NBA, the best overall record, wasn't able to dominate a Tyrese Halliburton list Pacers team. That's a little eye-opening to me. I understand you didn't have Porzingis, but nobody calls Porzingis a world beater, people. So that's my thing. If it's a nip and tuck game, let's just say it's 94-94, 5 minutes left of the game, I'm gonna take Luka and Kyrie to win that game 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah,
That's all.
100%.
So if the finals are gonna be the indication of how we saw the Eastern Conference Finals, the Mavs are live to win this series in 5, which I highly doubt. All I'm saying is if every game comes down to the last 3-4 minute stretch of the game, we saw the Boston Celtics just edge out the Pacers. That won't happen again if it's the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah, and you mentioned Porzingis. I don't know how he's going to do. He's had a lot of time off. How is he going to gel with the guys? And I like Derek White in the lineup as well. I think you bench Al Horford or you start Al Horford games 1 and 2 at home. Now, honestly, I think you got to start Porzingis at home. I don't know.
You can't just bring him to starting lineup in Dallas. Even
Yeah.
though he played in Dallas, maybe he won't be, I played against him. I played with them. It's not that. But who knows? At the end, he never been in the stage. He never even been in the Eastern Conference final stage.
So you picked the Dallas Mavericks to win in around 6 games. Luka at plus 210 for Finals MVP. He has to get it, right? I mean, the guy's averaging over 30 points a game so far this postseason. He's an absolute killer. What? And what I love about him though is that when he doesn't just talk to talk, he'll let you know he's here from the first quarter.
Yeah. So I like that. But another one I like, Dill, top point scorer. Kyrie Irving at plus 1,200. Don't get me wrong. Luka Doncic is going to be consistent. He's going to average anywhere from 28 to 33, 34 in the series. Yeah. Not surprising. But it wouldn't shock me if Kyrie gives you about 25, 28 with 140 to 50-point game. We saw Kyrie Irving pretty sure he has multiple 40-point games in the finals. We saw him do it with LeBron. Remember, people, one thing about Kyrie, he's been there and done that. He's not scared of the moment. And he also hates Boston. Let's not forget, one of the last times he was in Boston, he stomped on that leprechaun at the half court. He stomped on that leprechaun. So
bad vibes in the Garden.
All I'm saying is, if you poke at the bear, Kyrie Irving might give Boston 40 to 50 points at the Garden. Yeah. So I think it's worth a sprinkle at plus 1,200 for Kyrie just to be the top point scorer, just because Luka could average 30-something, but if Kyrie averages 25 with that 140-something point game, he'll be the top scorer.
Yeah, 100%. I think he is live as well at plus 1,200. Luka is the favorite at minus 140 for all the things you mentioned, which I understand. Plus 210 for Jason Tatum, which I don't know. I don't think there's value there with Jason Tatum. We've seen him go cold for stretches of this series, and like you said, against lesser competition. So we'll see. But yeah, just a few bets that we kind of like going into the finals. We do have game 1 lines up. -6 for Boston at home, +6 for the Mavs. Over-unders at 214. I mean, we could get a look at it real quick if you want, but our official plays will be out next week for game 1 on Thursday. But I got to lean with the Mavs here. I think 6 points is a lot. I love the over. I think we're going to see a ton of points. I don't think defense is going to be optional. I think it's a lot of help defense as well. So I actually would take the points, and I would take the over as well. We've been seeing a lot of overs in the NBA playoffs.
Yeah, I'm ready set and so give me the +6 with the Dallas Mavericks early. Game 1, like I said, Pacers could have easily won that game. The game 1 goes to overtime. Game 2, Celtics took care of business, giving credit on that. Game 3, Celtics win by 3 on the road. Game 4, Celtics win by 3 on the road. If the Pacers series was close, besides game 2, I guarantee every game is going to be close with the Dallas Mavericks. 6 points is just way too many, in my opinion. I
Mhm.
understand that they're at the Garden. I gotta start saying TD Garden because the Mecca.
We know what you
I
mean.
know, understand, but for the listeners out there, though,
Yeah.
all I'm saying is the Mavericks is going to be a tougher matchup than the Pacers,
Mhm.
Cavs, and Heat were.
To say the least, yes. All right, kid. Before we get to our MLB plays, let me tell you guys a quick word from our sponsor. We are brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. There's no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV, Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like how we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing around a golf with the boys, or an elderberry a Saturday afternoon watching UFC 302 in Brick City, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at the Dream Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, kid, let's get to our MLB plays. 15 games on the slate for today. We got some day baseball, only one game there, but I got a couple plays. We'll start with the first game. Cincinnati Reds on the road taking on the Chicago Cubs. -146 for the Cubs. Javier Assad going for them. We got Graham Ashcraft going for the Reds. +124 for them on the road. Over under is at 8.5. Elvis, I'll start with you. Any plays here, kid?
No, I ended up just staying away. I only got 3 plays on the day with a few opinions.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like the over a little bit. Not a. I like the Cubs as well, but it is getting up there in price. A lot of chalky prices on this slate. Me and Elvis were talking about
Yeah,
that.
I'll lean aside. I do like him on the pitching mound, deal, but Chicago's been on a bad stretch, and then
Yeah, no,
Cincinnati on the road. Do I trust them? Do I like Ashcraft? It's just
yeah,
a bad matchup, so I'm not gonna force anything. I don't lean Chicago people, but basically at
yeah.
-150. Do I love them? No, not at
No, I
-150.
agree. I think against right-handers, Chicago hits them pretty well. But like you said, they're not playing the best baseball as well. Graham Ashcraft, really don't trust him either. 3+ runs given up on 4 straight games. So I think if anything, we'll see some runs here. So yeah, I would lean over, but nothing on the side. Let's go to Philadelphia. The Phillies hosting the St. Louis Cardinals. Miles Mikolas going for the Cardinals. Aaron Nola going for the Phillies. -188 for the Phillies, +158 for the Cardinals. Over under is at 8. Anything here for you, kid?
Yeah, this was another lean for me, Dale. I do lean Phillies on the run line. The money line's too chalky. Run line at +114. I like, but the Phillies, with Aaron Nola on the mound, I do expect a bounce back. But give credit to the St. Louis. Have been looking better this past week. Give them credit on that. But when Mikolas on the mound, you know what? Give me Philly on the run line. Back at home, coming back home from a long road trip. I expect them to take care of business, especially with their ace on the mound.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to take the plus money here with the Phillies on the run line. I think that is a good bet. I know the Phillies haven't been playing the best baseball, but I do think they're the right side. They barely lose at home, 22-8, excuse me, straight up on the year. Cardinals, yeah, they've been playing a little better, but they're still under 500 on the road. And I still don't think they're right, if I'm being honest. I'm going to die on that hill. I'm not a fan of the Cardinals, never will be. I don't think they improved. And I just think this is a bad matchup for them. Aaron Nola, he's been lights out in the month of May. Only one bad start against the Blue Jays early in the month. Outside of that, the Phillies have won every start he's made. And Miles Mikolas, on the other hand, he's been better, but still gives up a ton of runs, 16 runs in 27 innings in the month of May. And against lesser competition, Phillies, they have a top 5 offense. So I like the Phillies here. I think they win big. Let's go to the next game. Baltimore Orioles. Albert Suarez going for the Orioles. Aaron Savali going for the Tampa Bay Rays. -148 for the Orioles. plus 126 for the Rays. Over under is at 8. Any opinion in this game?
This one I do trust. Give me the Baltimore Orioles at home. I don't love it, but I at least trust them. Give me the minus 149 at home. Tampa, I don't trust their offense, even though they've been playing better ball, in past, couple weeks. But the Orioles at home, I just trust them more with Suarez on the mound, 153 ERA. Oof. Give me the Orioles at home, minus 149, even minus 150. I wouldn't pass minus 155 on the money line if it keeps going up.
Yeah, it's getting up there in price. I do lean with the Orioles. I think they're the right side. I just can't back Aaron Savali in this spot. He hasn't been good. The Rays have lost his last 4 starts and 4 of his last 5 starts on the road. So just not someone you really want to back on the road. And Orioles have kind of picked it up recently as well. They're scoring a lot of runs. They play well at home. So I love this spot for them. I do think they are the right side as well. So yeah, give me the Baltimore Orioles. Let's go up north to Toronto. The Blue Jays hosting the Pittsburgh Pirates. I think it's going to be Bailey Falter going for the Pirates, and then Jose Barrios going for the Toronto Blue Jays. Minus 168 for the Blue Jays, plus 142 for the Pirates. Over under is at 8.5. No real play here for me. I kind of lean the under 8.5. Jose Barrios at home. He's been fantastic. 169 ERA at home. Only 5 runs given up in 26 innings. So I think maybe you want to look at the under. If you don't trust the full game under, maybe attack Pirates team total under. If we're able to get a 4, I would take the under on that. Barrios hasn't allowed more than 3 runs at home all year. So if you don't feel comfortable taking the full game over, I want to look at the team total. I didn't get it so far. It's at 3.5. Maybe a slight lean to the under Pittsburgh, but like I said, Jose Barrios has been phenomenal at home. So if anything, lean under.
Yeah, this is another one. I like Toronto, but to lay the minus 165 on the money line is too rich. And to lay the run line at plus 130, I understand Burris on the mound, but I don't trust Toronto that much to lay the run line, So
Yeah,
it's another stay away. I do like Toronto. If anything, put Toronto in like a parlay or something on the money line deal, but to go straight up, I lean them, but I'm not going to advise anyone to lay it.
All right, let's go to the worst team in the majors. The New York Mets are hosting the Arizona Diamondbacks. Luis Severino going for the Mets. Jordan Montgomery going for the Snakes. Minus 116 for the Mets. Minus 102 for the D-backs. Over under is at 7.5. First of all, did you see the guy throw his glove?
I was going to ask you, dude, what do you think, from a fan's perspective, what do you think about that? Because I have no official play on this game. I honestly do lean the Mets.
Wow.
But that's just my opinion. But I want your thoughts on that. He has been dismissed of his role.
Yeah, he's been DFA'd, which makes sense. I mean, you just can't say that regardless. I mean, he's not lying. And I think the quote got kind of mixed up. He claims he said he was the worst teammate, not he's on the worst team. Regardless, I think he was going to get DFA'd after throwing his glove into the stands. Anyway, you can't do that. What do I think? I think the guy's a clown. I think that he was on a 110-loss Oriole team and didn't say a word, but couldn't even make it to the start of June with the Mets, and you already got thrown off the team. I'll go as far as to say, I don't think he'll ever play in the majors. I truly don't. I don't think a team will take that into the locker room. That's not a good glue guy you need in the locker room. So it's a dysfunctional organization. I've been saying it for years. As for this game, though, I mean, Severino's been solid this year, but I just can't back him. The Mets stink at home. Honestly, both teams have been playing poorly.
Mm-hmm.
Edwin Diaz, he's now on the injured list. He's been awful. The Mets can't hit at home. Their home and road splits in regards to the total in runs per game is insane. They average the most runs on the road, and the games go over when they're on the road. At home, they average the fewest runs per game. The home and road splits are absolutely incredible with this team. 7.5 seems low.
It's 7.
Oh, it's at 7.
Shop around, people. Over is at minus 115. Under is at minus 105.
It makes sense. They just can't score runs. And as much, like I said, as much as I like the over, I just don't trust the Mets bat. Jordan Montgomery, he's been solid on the road this season. Severino's been great. maybe look towards an out prop for Severino. The Snakes aren't the best against righties, and Severino has been able to give the Mets some good length around 6-7 innings. So don't trust either team. I wouldn't back Severino. I wouldn't back Jordan Montgomery. So if anything, I would take a out prop for for Luis Severino. But outside of that, dysfunction organization. Actually, I'm going to the game on Sunday, so we'll see how that goes. Let's go to your Red Sox. Tanner Houck going for the Sox. They will host the Detroit Tigers. Kenta Maeda going for the Tigers. Minus 166 for the Red Sox, plus 140 for the Tigers. Over under is at 8.5. Kid, it's your team. What do you like?
This is another one, to lay a run line with the struggling Red Sox. At the end of the day, I know what we about. I know who we are. I also understand that this ain't the same Tigers team we saw in April. But still, man, as a fan, I'm hurt that I'm not confident to lay the run line at home against the Detroit Tigers. That just hurts me to say. I'll I'll lean the run line deal, but do I trust us to beat the Detroit Tigers by 2+ runs? Honestly, don't. Honestly, don't. But do I trust Hook to have a great pitching outing? I do. I honestly do, Dill. I just don't trust our bats enough to get the win. So lean the under 8.5 and lean the run line with the Red Sox.
It's chalky, but I do like the Red Sox here. I just can't trust Kenta Maeda on the road. 11.32 ERA, 13 runs given up in 10 innings. He's not even able to go all that much because he gives up the long ball. Batters are hitting 320 off of him on the road. So I do think the Red Sox are the right side, but they've been inconsistent as well. They've been kind of up and down. But against Kenta Maeda, I do think this is a good opportunity for them to get back on track. And once Kenta Maeda is out of the game, I do think the Red Sox will be able to get to that bullpen. Tigers, bottom 5 bullpen in the American League. So it's a little chalky. Maybe you want to add them to a parlay, but I think Tanner Houck and the Red Sox are the right side. Oh, this is my favorite game of the slate today. Let's go to Cleveland. The Guardians hosting the Washington Nationals. Patrick Corbin going for the Nationals. Tanner Beebe going for the Guardians. Minus 220 for the Guardians at home. Plus 184 for the Nationals. Over under is at 8. My favorite play of the day, kid. Give me the over 8. The number is just too low. I thought it would be an 8.5 or 9. Between Tanner Beebe, who struggles at home, and Patrick Corbin, who's even worse on the road, I feel like we're in store for a shootout in this game. Batters are hitting 366 off of Patrick Corbin on the road, and Guardians are absolutely destroy lefties. So bad matchup here for Patrick Corbin. And on the other side, Tanner Beebe has an over 6 ERA at home. He's been involved in a lot of high-scoring games. The Guardians have also gone over this total in 4 straight games. So if you don't like the full game over, maybe look towards a team total over 4.5 for the Guardians. I think they score 5 runs in this game. But I love the over here, kid.
I'm gonna lean the Guardians on the run line minus 104. That's going on the road. You got Bibe on the mound. Cleveland, who's just been a powerhouse to be honest all season. They deserve to be. Anytime I see a minus 220 favorite in baseball, it kind of pisses me off. But they deserve to be so in this situation. So shout out Cleveland being this good, and I'll lean the run line.
All right, let's go to Miami. Sicko Sanchez going for the Fish. Jose Urena going for the Rangers. Rangers minus 134 on the road, plus 114 for the Fish. Over under is at 8.5. No play for me here, kid, but I'll say this: the Fish have been playing a lot better. So has the Rangers. If you back the Fish 10 times in the last 10 games, you are making a lot of money. They've been playing a lot, and they're usually big underdogs. So you've been making out and cashing with the Fish. I don't know if I would back them in this spot. I just can't trust Sicko Sanchez, but no play here for me. What do you got?
That's where I'm going there. They'll got to face Sicko Sanchez. Give me the Texas Rangers. I think I called them yesterday at minus 121.
Oh, wow.
Shop around. I see minus 127, minus 130s. I just think the Rangers, as of right now, are just a little better. I understand Miami. They've been playing better ball there, but Rangers won 3 straight. I think they're finally coming alive. I'm not saying watch out, they're heading back to the World Series. All I'm saying is they might be coming back alive. Hopefully, start getting a little more healthy in the rotation, and we'll see what they're able to do come next month in August. But I like the Rangers today as well. So give me the Rangers minus 121 on the money line. Still love it at minus 130.
All right, let's go to the ATL. Atlanta Braves hosting the Oakland Athletics. Braves minus 220 favorites, plus 184 for the Athletics. Over under is at 8.5. I thought it was going to be Chris Sale. Now it's Rodinho Lopez going for them. JP Sears going for the Athletics. No play here for me, kid. What do you got?
Same deal. No play for me.
Yeah.
With just another huge money line. Braves deserves to be the favorite. Not gonna argue it, but shit off the Athletics. I think we got to at least sprinkle something on the run line.
If it was Chris Sale, I mean, what a season he's had. I know you former Red Sox as well, but man, if you asked me this a month or a month and a half ago before the season, I don't know if I'd be saying how good Chris Sale has been, but he's been absolutely fantastic for the Braves, unfortunately. Let's go to Houston. Renino Blanco going for the Astros. Pablo Lopez going for the Twins. Minus 112 for the Astros at home. Minus 104 for the Twins. Over under is at 8. Surprisingly, I'm going to back the Astros here in this spot, kid. I feel like this is one of the few times this season I've blacked them, but Renino Blanco, he's been great at home this season. I honestly think he's been the best pitcher for the Astros. He always gives them a chance to win. He usually gets run support when he's on the mound. The Astros won 8 of his 9 starts on the year. And as good as the Twins have been playing, I don't want to back Pablo Lopez. His last 3 starts have not been good until he turns it around and shows us that he's back to normal. I can't back him, especially on the road. Astros, much better lineup. I think they're going to get to Pablo Lopez. I don't think this is a good spot for him. So give me the Astros on the money line.
I have no play here, too, but I agree with you. I think the Houston Astros are live today. Pablo Lopez hasn't been pitching well as of late. And then with Blanco on the opposite side, who's been pretty good this season so far. Though the only downside for Houston is for some reason they can't score the runs they once could, though.
Yeah.
So with Pablo Lopez, who's been struggling, maybe the bats wake up. So I'll lean Houston as well.
All right, let's go to Kansas City. Mako Waka going for the Royals. Dylan Cease going for the Padres. Padres minus 134 favorites on the road, plus 114 for the Kansas City Royals. Over under is at 7.5. Give me my dog of the day. Give me the home puppy Royals plus 114. Tough loss for the Royals on Thursday. They got out to an early lead, wound up losing a brutal one. But I like this bounce back spot for them at home where they're much better. 21-8 straight up at home, coming back from a long road trip. I think the players are going to respond to that. And for as good as Dylan Cease has been this season, his last 2 starts have been very telling. He's given up a lot of hard contact and runs. And, the numbers are saying he's good in the fielding independent and everything. But my eye test, I think we're seeing some regression from Dylan Cease. And I think this is a good time to fade him. So going to take the plus price here with the home dog. I know Royals 1-4 in their last 5, but at home, I think this is a good spot for them.
Yeah, this is another tough game. Royals, like you said, they lost 4 of the last 5. I do like Dylan Cease, Maka Waka, former Red Sox great, but I'm gonna have to lean with the Padres on the opposite side. I think Dylan Cease due for a bounce back. The Padres have been playing better ball. Kansas City's been slowing down a little bit. I still like Kansas City, but when I saw these past few days, I haven't been loving it. So I'll lean the Padres on the road.
All right, let's go to the next game. Milwaukee Brewers hosting the Chicago White Sox. Eric Feedy going for the White Sox. Tobias Myers going for the Brewers. Minus 174 for the Brewers, plus 146 for the White Sox. Over under is at 8. Yeah, no real opinion on this one. Not a game I probably would bet at all, if I'm being honest. Tobias Myers, okay. If anything, lean under. It's probably an ugly game, but I'll have no action in this one, kid. What do you got?
Still, for the people listening out there, I kind of forced this one, so don't trail me if you're not confident in it. But I'm gonna go with the Brewers on the run line plus 130. This is my let your balls hang of the bet of the day. Give me the Brewers plus 130 on the run line.
All right, let's go to the next game. We're 3 games left. Dodgers hosting the Colorado Rockies. Dakota Hudson going for the Rockies. Walker Buehler going for the Dodgers. Minus 330 for the Dodgers at home. Plus 265 for the Rockies. Over under is at 8.5. kind of lean the over, if I'm being honest, but you can't back the Dodgers here. Minus 330. I don't care how good they are. I don't care who's on the mound. You just can't back it. How many times have we seen this season where over a $3, over a $2 favorite winds up losing outright? And Rockies haven't been playing all that bad. So you got to sprinkle a little here on the Rockies. You just on just pure value.
Give me the Rockies plus 265 on the money line, people. Just on pure value, you got to take it. Both teams won 3 out of the last 5. Dodgers just came off playing the Mets. Give me the Rockies plus 265.
All right, 2 games left. Let's go out to Seattle. Mariners hosting the Los Angeles Angels. Brandon Wu going for the Mariners. Jose Sereno going for the Angels. Minus 172 for the Mariners. Plus 144 for the Angels. Over under is at 7. A little chalky here with the Mariners, kid, but do you like them?
I like them. I don't love them, Dale. I'm not going to touch the run line. This is another one. If you want to do the Blue Jays with Seattle, by all means. Seattle's been playing better ball, finally above 500, looking like the team that I picked to sneak the division, looking like the team you once loved last season, Dale. I like what I'm seeing. This is why they're so heavy on the money line, Dale. I'm gonna stay away, but I like the money line, don't love it, and I lean the run line.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the over, if I'm being honest. It's at 7. It's just insanely low. I know the Mariners have been an under team for most of the year, but they've been playing some really good baseball, like you alluded to. They've won 4 straight. Pitchers seem locked in. They're driving in runners in scoring position. And against Jose Sereno, who he's another guy. He's like very inconsistent. He'll have a good game, and then he'll give up 4 runs. He'll have a good game, he'll give up 5 runs. So I don't trust him. Angels, they have one of the worst bullpens as well in the American League. And the Mariners have won every game Wu has started this season. 3 of his 4 starts have gone over the total as well. So I think we see some runs here. So I got to take the over. 7 is just very low. And then last game in San Francisco, the Giants hosting the New York Yankees. Marcus Stroman going for the Yankees. Jordan Hicks going for the Giants. Minus 138 for Stroman in the Yankees. Plus 118 for the Giants. Over under is at 7.5. Kid, what do you like here?
Gotta lean with the red hot Yankees. Almost said the Red Sox. Gotta lean with them. Can't deny that Aaron Judge and Juan Soto might be the best hitting. We're talking about the best scoring duo of all time. Juan Soto and Aaron Judge I gotta admit though, they've just been special this season, and you gotta admire it. As a fan perspective, you gotta at least acknowledge, they're doing great things right now. So gotta lean the Yankees on the money line minus 135.
Oh man, but how good has Anthony Volpe look? I was gonna take his hit. He was on a 21 game hitting streak, and he went to a close yesterday, even though they won 8-3. So he's been fantastic, kid. As much as I hate to say it, moving him up to the number 1 spot in front of Juan Soto, Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge has been on fire in the month of May as well. So
it's not fair.
It fucking sucks. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, you gotta. Marcus Stroman has looked a little better. Jordan Hicks is good. He's undefeated at home, so maybe a little short dog price here, but nothing too confident. But yeah, that's all the 15 games. Let's go to the last week of the UFL. We finally have made it. One more week until the playoffs start. And Elvis, 2 games here on Saturday and 2 games on Sunday. We will start with the first game on Saturday, 2:00. The Stallions hosting the Michigan Panthers. Stallions laying 8 at home, plus 320 on the money line for the Michigan Panthers. Over under is at 43.5. We're not going to blindly fade the Stallions anymore, kid. Give me plus 8 with Michigan. I think Michigan has been playing a lot better as of late recently. They won last week. They played really well. I know Houston isn't the greatest team, but putting up 26 points on the road. I like what they've been doing lately as well. I think they're a really good team that is going under the radar. They're sitting at second place, 7-2, right under the Birmingham Stallions. And I don't think, honestly, they're 8-point under. They should be 8-point underdogs. I think they're live at taking the money line as well at plus 320, just because Stallions have nothing to play for. They're the number 1 overall seed already. They're set in stone. They could rest their guys. So I'm going to take Michigan plus 8, and I would even sprinkle a little on the money line, kid.
I agree with you. Give me Michigan +8. I wouldn't say they're live. We'll see. Just because I feel like the Stallions want to end on a high note, not lose two straight. Head into the playoffs. But we can't deny what Michigan's been looking like. They're red hot. They won what 5 straight games? I think 4 or 5 straight games. And let's not forget, people. I understand it's the Stallions, but they lost tough loss last week, and then we saw them battle the Roughnecks to the bitter end. And that's the
Yeah.
Roughnecks we're talking about, people, 2 weeks ago. So give me Michigan +8, though. Just from what we saw these past 2 to 3 weeks, Michigan has been playing a little better. That's all.
Yeah, no, you're right. They have the longest winning streak in the UFL. They've won 5 in a row. They're good on the road. They're good at home. They're a good team. They're a good team. Yeah, no, they're not. I don't think they're solid. They're a good team, man. And I think they're going to give people fits in the playoffs. So I think this is a little preview to it. So yeah, too many points. Give me the +8. Oh, I love this game. Let's go to the second game. St. Louis Battlehawks in the Dome in St. Louis taking on the San Antonio Brahmas. Probably the best game on the match in the slate, in my opinion. -2.5 for the Battlehawks, -145 on the money line for them, +125 for the Brahmas, over under at 42. This is my favorite game. I'll let you go first. Interested to see what you like here.
Don't get me wrong, Dill. The Brahmas have been playing great. I like the Brahmas. But give me St. Louis Battlehawks with that home crowd at -148 on the money line. I lean the -2.5. Don't get me wrong, I lean the -2.5. But I'm going to just take them straight up, play it safe. Give me St. Louis on the money line.
Yep, that's the same side. That's my lock of the week, my favorite play. I'm going to take St. Louis -2.5 on the money line, whatever you prefer. They lost last week, all good. It was a tough game. Arlington just put up so many points. It was on the road. Coming back home, I think this is a nice bounce back spot, and they still have an opportunity to get the first place. They win here, they're tied, and I think they actually have the tiebreaker against San Antonio, so they might get the number 1 seed in the XFL conference. So a lot to play for here. Home crowd advantage. I think this is a nice bounce back spot for them. I agree. Give me the St. Louis Battlehawks -2.5 or on the money line, whatever you prefer. Let's go to the Sunday games. DC Defenders hosting the Arlington Renegades. DC laying 2.5 on at home, -130 on the money line, +110 for the Arlington Renegades. Over under is at 46. I'm going to take Arlington here. +2.5, +3. I see in some places. Shop around. I think they're live as well. Look at what they just did at home last week to St. Louis, a much better team. Now they're playing DC. I think DC is good, but they played Memphis, the worst team in the league. I think Arlington wins here. And, I know they don't really have that much expectation, but they got to end the season on a high note. I think Alex Perez, they're going to put up numbers. That offense is one of the best offenses in the league, regardless of their record. So I'm going to take Arlington. I don't think DC could stop them. So give me Arlington +2.5, and I'll take them on the money line.
They'll give me Arlington +110 on the money line. I just feel like these past few weeks, especially recent, Arlington just playing a little better. I did like DC early on, but as of late, I haven't been loving what I've seen. Even though they're on the road, give me Arlington +110.
All right. And then the last game on the board, we got the Memphis Showboats hosting the Houston Roughnecks, excuse me. Roughnecks laying 2 on the road, -140 on the money line, +120 for the home dogs. Over under is at 44, and a half. But, I think the crown has been taken from the worst team. It's not Houston anymore. It's Memphis. They're the worst team. They've lost 8 games in a row. Houston is favored for a reason. They've been playing a lot better, I would say. They had the close game against the Stallions the other week. They had a close game last week against Michigan, another very good team. I've liked what I've seen. They haven't won the games, but they've been playing a lot better, a lot more heart, not what they've started the season with. I think they're going to actually destroy Memphis. So give me Houston -2.
Give me Houston Roughnecks on the money line for the first time all season. I'm saying this, and I think they deserve to be the favorite. Like you said, Memphis has been a disappointment ever since I think like week 2, week 3. I don't know what's going on there. Houston been playing better. We saw even play better against the Stallions a couple weeks ago. Give me the Roughnecks -2, -142 on the money line.
I love it, kid. All right, good luck. Anything else before we get up out of here, kid? Anything you want to say? What are you doing this weekend?
watching UFC 301. Hopefully, Dustin Poirier upsets the world, people.
Yeah. It all the way from Lafayette, Louisiana. And where is the Prudential Center? On what street? Lafayette Street.
The trenches.
Not the benches. Everyone, have a great weekend. Good luck on your bets. That's going to do it for this Friday edition of the Dream Wager. On behalf of our sponsor, Viva Tequila, Elvis, myself. If you missed an episode, no worries. Make sure you guys can get all of your episodes wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, rate, give us a review, leave in the comments who you'll be betting on this week. All that good stuff helps us out tremendously. So be a friend, tell a friend. Good luck this weekend, and we will see you guys on Monday. Peace.